And we're back.
We're back.
Big energy.
Big energy. Big energy. We are recording the Cavalry. This is episode 84. Normally, I have no idea. We can never say the number because we're always so many out. So I don't do the math, but we're on 84 because I just cut clips for 83.
84. That's a big number. Is it? I can't think of anything significant about the number 84, but it's a lot.
Big.
It's a lot of
big,
episodes.
Yeah. It's six. We are 16 away from our centennial. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We sound like a country.
Yeah.
We're going to have fireworks and a patriotic display. 84 hours of us talking.
Of Beaner Slater joy.
That's a lot.
That's almost too much.
And it all exists. It's all taking up space on the internet. You know what I mean? There's energy being devoted to keeping our 84 hours of talking.
Yeah, that's it. That is taking up physical space on some drive somewhere. I was thinking about that today. I sent my wife an email, and she looked at like a screenshot of an email that I've been saving for like a year ago. We were supposed to put together a will and testament, in case we both die in a crash or whatever. And we keep being like, no, that's too depressing. Let's not do it tonight. Let's not do it. I've been keeping it as new for a year. And today's the date, December 7th, 2020. And I sent her a screenshot saying, we still have not done this. And her response was, you have 33,000 emails in your Gmail? Like, that's what she looked at. And I didn't realize, like, do you delete emails? I mean, once you read it, it's just read. But
I delete the ones I never open.
Yeah, I mean, I'll delete junk, but like if I read it, you don't have to like delete old ones that.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I get this notification from Gmail every once in a while that I'm like at 90% of my storage, and then I might go through and delete stuff then. But I think it's funny if imagining you guys like you're on a plane that's going down, and you're just desperately trying to send that. That email.
That's not what would happen. That's not
what would
happen. I would turn to her and I'd be like, I fucking told you. I fucking told you.
I tried to do a bit like that where like you can get life insurance. Like when I got life insurance, they were like, download the life insurance mobile app. And I was like, what is that? Who's buying life insurance on the go? And so, like, if you're on a plane and it's, like, a little rocky, they're like, oh, shit, okay, now's the time. Spring for Wi-Fi.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, nothing ever works. Hey,
it's funny because I had a bit about, like, life insurance and, like, nagging my wife to get hers because I have it, but she doesn't, and there's really no non-fishy way to nag your wife to get life insurance.
Well, wait a minute. When you bought yours, they didn't just offer you the to sell it to you both? Like when I bought it, I just bought it for both of us.
It was so long ago, I really have no idea. I don't think we were married.
So I'd like to imagine you
Maybe we were, I don't know.
You had to have been. I like to imagine you buying life insurance as a single man. You know what?
Oh yeah, no, I was clearly, why would I buy it if I'm single?
My roommates could not survive if I bit the dust.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's hilarious.
People should. That'd be the most generous person of all time. I got life insurance for you guys because I don't want you guys to have to drop HBO if I die.
The roommates. Yeah, can you just make the beneficiary my nieces and nephews?
Well, you have to do that if you're like really rich, I guess you do have to have, even if you're single, you have to like figure out where it's all going to go.
Yeah.
I don't think we have that problem. But yeah, we got
Uncle Sam doesn't take it all, huh?
The government.
Jeez. More like govern-no, right?
Govern ain't.
That was one of my, I should have said that in the notebook. That was one of my first jokes that I would do in New York when I would do the open mics. I would just say, I had some joke about the government, and I would go, government, more like govern-no. Am I right? And I just thought that was so funny, and it never got a single laugh.
I don't get it. I do not get it.
I think that's the joke, because it's not like it's govern. Yes, it's just It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay. It's our fault.
Yeah.
You don't get it.
Right, right.
We're the idiots.
Or you're the idiots.
Now I feel like a bitter crowd member. Like, why is he yelling at us? He's the one who should write better jokes.
We just came out here for a good time.
Hey, we didn't come here to get yelled at by some long-haired hippie.
That complains that his wife's a hippie for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Have you revisited that at all? Have you?
Yeah, now I just put a caveat. It's not even a joke. I'm like, yeah, I know you guys are all looking at me like, this guy's got long hair. Trust me. His haircut, I'm not a hippie. This is just leftover from the pandemic. Ignore it. I'm not a hippie, and then I do the bit. Wow, that's only if I have to do like an hour. I'm trying to not like, because that material has been, ever since my dry bar, that's like, been a big chunk. So I'm trying to not do it anymore.
I know for like Norwegian now they don't have hosts. So like I was looking at they sent me the deal thing today and they're like, you got to do like 2 different 40-minute clean sets and then theater set and all this. I'm like, man, I'm going to have to go and listen to my old album. That's going to be so painful. Like on the plane, I can't imagine a worse way to spend my time, but
listening to your own old act.
I'm going to do some of your jokes that you dumped out of the notebook on the Patreon episode.
Yeah, do that impression of a penis.
Oh, yeah. Could go anyway. But yeah, man, other than that, things are going pretty good, How's life at the Beaner household?
They're good. Things are good.
Is there any, I was thinking about this, is there any winter sports? Is there anything like, are you taking kids to indoor sports, or is it once baseball's over, it's all over?
No, I signed Edie up for basketball, but that doesn't start till January, and it's like a clinic where they have scrimmage games, but it's not like, teams. And then she's got violin and Phoebe's got dance, or ballet for, a bunch of 3-year-olds that don't listen. So there's a lot of carting around, but no, nothing else.
Oh, okay. Nothing too far. All that sounds close.
Yeah.
That's the key. All right.
I'm dreading for when they get older and they start doing travel teams and stuff. That's why
that's what I mean. I think we might have talked about that before, but like if there's any way to keep them from having to leave the county,
you just don't sign them up for travel teams.
Yeah. Well, that seems mean. It's like you have to instill it early in things that can only be played in your area, but I don't know what that is. I guess violin is pretty good.
I mean,
that's not even
I played
true.
Sports growing up, and I never traveled anywhere. I mean, I was always on the C team. They don't.
No, yeah, that's true. Like, and if you're on your school teams, you just go on like the school bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, they take you.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's like special teams. Like they tried to get us to sign up for travel softball for Edie, but we're like, no, I don't want to go to Iowa for a game. Why would I do that?
It is funny, like, too, like, we're not all, I don't know. Edie's probably good at softball, but it's like, not everybody needs to go interstate competition. You know what I mean? Like, I think we can find a competitive level, like,
in Wisconsin.
In the state.
In Dane County.
Yeah, in Dane County. That's right. Like, we don't need to go. You're not like this, like, Muhammad Ali. Like, I'll go to any part of the world to find someone who can go 12 rounds with me,
Yeah. Nope. Anyway.
Well, boy, this is good. It's just the 2 of us. We're back. I'm feeling very excited about this episode. I have some topics. My first topic that I wrote down today, I for sure was like, I'm going to need to ask if we've talked about this, if I've brought this up before.
Okay. No problem. I have that thought every time I think of any topic.
Parking, waiting for someone to pull out for a parking spot. Do you remember me discussing this?
We have talked about it, but it was not someone's.
Okay.
It was not someone's topic.
Here's my topic.
Where are you coming from with it?
I went to Trader Joe's yesterday. Mm-hmm. It's just a nightmare. The parking lot. I mean, everybody knows. We don't need to. It's just a nightmare. Every Trader Joe's parking lot in America. But
it's garbage.
You don't wait. I just have a hard rule. You don't wait for someone. The spot does not exist until you see the white lights.
Yes, of reverse. Yes.
Otherwise, it is not a spot you can sit there and wait for. Like even the psychopaths who follow someone to their car is out of my mind. And then I know what people are going to say, but they're going to like, well, what do I do? There's no spots. Then you leave.
Yeah, circle around.
This parking lot is full. Then you leave. You go home and you don't go to the store. There's too many people at this place. Or you park outside of the parking lot on the street or the upper level of the garage. Like sometimes at parking garages, like people don't even go. They don't even entertain the idea of like going up a level.
Right. I was so 100% on board until you said you go home and you shop another day. I think yes, you don't do that. You don't follow someone. That's ridiculous. Anytime anyone does that, I just wave them on. I'm like, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. As I walk to my car and then leave, and I hope they see me as I leave right after they've passed. But you drive around, you loop around, you give some because that's cheating.
It is cheating. And it happened to me at all three levels. It happened to me on the way in. I got caught behind somebody else waiting for a spot.
God.
I'm like, this is just be so
especially if there's someone behind you. That's a hard no.
Yeah. Yeah, they hold up the whole, not just me. I mean, they're holding up all the traffic all the way getting into the parking lot. Because it's not a big parking lot, of course. Trader Joe's.
Now you're pissing me off just listening to this.
Then it happened to me when I got to my car. I feel that pressure, that hot breath on the back of your neck.
Yep.
Of somebody waiting for you. And this is something I didn't know till I had a kid. But there's something magical about the time where you get into the car and you pull out your phone and you can just shamelessly scroll. You know, because anytime you do that in your home with a kid, there's guilt.
Yeah, you're a bad parent.
You're a bad parent. You're not looking at the baby. You're not making food for the baby. You're not helping around the house. So in the car and you can't do it while you're driving because that means you're a bad person too. Oh. There's that moment where you first sit down, you close the door, it's quiet, you're by yourself, and you just pure, unadulterated phone time. It's very sweet.
Yes.
But I was robbed of that because then, of course, I got this idiot waiting for my so I just go as quickly as possible. I'm like,
no, that's where
this is where
I would have thought we would be the opposite, but I will scroll until they realize what the hell. It's almost like I'm daring them to honk. Yeah. You know, like they're going to honk me out of my own spot. They do that. I get out of the car and I go back in the store just to walk around a lap. I don't care. But, man, I'll just do that. And then as soon as they pass, that's when I reverse.
Yeah.
Just to send a message.
I like that. Okay. See, I need to grow some balls and do that next time. And then it happened to me on the way out. And then I get caught behind someone waiting for another spot on the way out. So it happened at all three levels. I'm like, I don't know how we get the word out or we teach people, but I feel like people think what they're doing is smart. They're like, oh, there's someone walking to their car. I'm going to follow them and I'm going to get a spot. It's not smart. It's just a dickhead move.
Yeah. It's a selfish,
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, you're backing me up.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you don't have to go home and shop another day, but.
No, have you ever done that? I've literally done that where I get so frustrated.
Get pissed off, yeah.
In Los Angeles, oh my God. There are so many times where I was going to probably an open mic, but maybe sometimes it was a party downtown or meeting a friend at a bar somewhere in Hollywood, and I circle like for a spot like 4 or 5 times, and then it's like I'm going home. I did that a lot.
Yeah.
I did that.
I've done that. Yeah, I've done that a lot. Well, for shopping and shit, like, and I wish I would have just taken a couple extra breaths and calmed down because. When you want to like lose your cool and explode, you have to do something to vent. So I would just send Aaron these just pissed off texts like, we're not getting the fucking turkey tonight. This is fucking bullshit. Fuck Trader Joe's. I'm never shopping here again. And then as I'm driving home, I'm like, oh God, I'm going to have to explain that stupid blow up. But I just had to get out of my system. Because if I just go home mad, then it's like, well, nobody knows I was mad. I'm not getting my point out. I have to tell Aaron how pissed I am.
I know that is part of being married is just like venting horribleness to each other.
Yeah.
That is but you're so right about like being trapped in the car in some sort of, usually it's a traffic situation or you're late or lost or so. It's rare you're lost now. I mean, you have to be a real dummy to get lost nowadays. But
I was about to tell you my story.
Oh, whoops. You gotta be
I'll still tell, but you finish yours.
Dumb son of a bitch. No, but that's the like all the times the maddest, or like I've screamed. Well, I don't usually text or anybody. I'll just scream the worst, most vile, disgusting things at the top of my lungs.
I would love to hear it.
You know, but you're in the car again. You're in the safe zone.
No one
can
hear
in the
it.
car with you, and you're just letting. And you feel like if anybody really that you knew like came by and saw it, they would be like, "Oh my God, he's having a nervous breakdown."
Yeah.
And then you're fine. And then like 5 minutes later, it's like, okay, I was losing it there, but I'm okay now. It's usually like the times it's like if I'm late for a gig and then there's traffic, like inexplicable traffic, or a parking lot situation, or like I don't know, just I don't get so mad about getting cut off or something, but it's
if there's a time constraint, that's when my fuse is short.
Yeah, the time thing, and you're like in big trouble, you know, if you like you know, like some gigs like you miss it, they're not going to give you the check, and you know, you can be in trouble. So but yeah, tell me your story about getting lost like a dummy.
Well, I don't know. Did you ever do that Pine Top gig? They attach it to I think either Pechanga or
no. It's the other one, the other crappy casino. But yes.
Oh, Edgewater.
Yeah.
So I went to I did and I didn't have I just didn't have service. I didn't have service there.
Right.
And so I, you know, as I'm leaving, I had service because I had Wi-Fi when I was in the hotel. And I just started driving away before I put in my destination, and there's no service. And so I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure it was this direction. So I'm just driving that way. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, I'll get service and it'll kick in. And it just didn't. And then I was just like, well, now I couldn't get back if I tried. And so I literally, and I was so pissed because it's like, what is it, 10 hours from LA?
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, I was getting the hell out of there right after the show.
Yeah.
I asked them for a water for the road. She said it's $1. I said, oh, I just was on stage. She goes, yeah, it's free if you're on stage, but the show's over, so it's $1. I was so fucking pissed. I was in such a bad mood. And so I'm using the Compass app. I literally had to pull out the Compass app and be like, okay, no, it's west. So I just kept trying to go as west as I could. And it took it was like hours longer and I was so pissed. So that's the only time in modern, in recent times I've been
if you're
lost.
on stage. You should have gone back on stage. Okay, I'm going to do a quick encore. Can you give me a fucking water? That is hilarious. I did that gig one time, but then it's all in Arizona or Nevada or something.
Yeah.
So you think it's going to be hot, you know. So I had this little car, no chains, and I was wearing shorts and a T-shirt. You know, I didn't do any research at all. So I'm driving from the one casino, which is in not Reno, but what's that
Laughlin?
Laughlin. And then I'm going, and then all of a sudden, I'm not paying attention. All of a sudden, there's like snow flurry. I'm like, what the and then like the snow's piling up, and like I have it's like the middle of December. There's this huge snowstorm. And I'm in this tiny little Prius with no chains or anything, sliding all over the road. I'm like in my flip flops. Like I was not prepared for this at all.
Wow.
Yeah, but I made it. Priuses are like surprisingly okay in this. I don't know what if.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you about that because we have our new Prius.
I mean, I would definitely get chains, but like they're so light. I feel like there's something to that where, you know, you want a car to be heavy in the snow. Usually that's what you think.
Yeah.
But I almost think like the Prius is so light. It like just kind of floats on top and does okay. I don't know. I've always had good luck with them. I've never gotten stuck. I've taken them over the pass many times. And I do that thing too where I'm always like, oh yeah, we have chains. Just no idea.
Chain, you wear people put chains.
I know that's such a Northwest thing because like I know people in the Midwest just like buy cars usually that like, or you just expect roads to be plowed, but like here, people don't plow. So if it snows, you just have to like drive over snow. Then nobody's like fixing the roads. So
I mean, if you rode on a plowed road with chains,
you would ruin the road.
You'd ruin the road, and
Right.
your tires would get all lumpy, right?
So like sometimes when you go over the mountain passes here, they'll say chains required, or something like that. And every time I've seen that, I've always been like, oh yeah, I got chains. But I don't know that I do. Like I just am assuming that at one point in my life, I threw chains in the trunk of my car. And then if I had to, I could pull over and put them on.
Oh, okay.
But I never knew that. And then we went to Montana and we went up this, talk about no service. We went up this road to Heidi's mom's house, and it's Thompson Falls, Montana. It's kind of remote, and there's this one way you can go. It shaves like 2 hours off your drive, but you go up this kind of winding road, and they close it for the winter, but it wasn't closed yet. And we weren't really thinking about it that much anyway, but so we took it, and we're like an hour and a half on this road, and we get to this truck that had spun out into the embankment. So we have to stop, and then once we stop, you can't get started again. I was like,
Right.
oh, I'll get the chains because there's snow and ice on the road. Like, oh, I'll get the chains. And I'm like, start to pull all the, the baby stuff out and the suitcases, and I know they're underneath. And I realized, like, I don't think we have chains.
Do you even own chains?
No, I never had them. Never had them.
You just constantly drive,
I just
unsure if you've ever purchased something you'd never bought.
I just convinced myself over the years, like if I really need them, I've got
They'll appear.
I must have bought them at some point, and I've told myself that lie so many times, and I've been okay my whole life that I just assumed we had them, and then I pulled everything out. I was like, I don't think we have them. So we had to turn all the way back, go back an hour and a half, drive around, and go,
Oh,
it was a nightmare.
damn.
It's probably for the best because the car that spun out ahead of us, these are like narrow Montana unmaintained. I mean, they close the road in the winter for a reason. There's like lots of switchbacks and stuff. And this car that spun out was a big SUV, so maybe it wasn't smart for us to be driving on it anyway. But
Wow. You got life insurance?
yeah, we do. We do have the life insurance. I have the mobile app too, so once we got service, I could pile on some more.
Right. Oh, you know what? I was thinking after you said that. The reason I got it is because I didn't have any because I was a single person, but she has it through her job. But I keep nagging her to find out about it because, like, if she died, what am I going to Google who her principal was and be like, hey, who's her? Because I don't know any of that. She doesn't have the paperwork for it. All my stuff is very organized.
Yeah.
It's no good if I don't know where it is or who it's through.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I never thought about that because I'm like, I want my family to be taken care of if I die. But, like, there's no way. If I die, I don't know how Heidi's going to figure out. I mean, I did all this shit, and I got the email, and then and in my head, I'm like, well, and then I'll just show her how to do it. It's like, no, buddy, you're gone. You can't.
Yeah.
So I always imagine
that's so morbid. I think about that a lot. Like,
it's horrible.
Boy, Erin needs to know my Google password. She needs to have those passwords in case I die. Something happens.
I guess it's like I should just keep like one physical box of things that like has all the like really important stuff.
Yeah.
Because trying to get all the passwords and all that, I don't know.
Like, that's what I mean. I have that box, but she doesn't.
Right.
So.
But and it's awkward to ask her.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, can you please get that stuff so I have it?
I really need you to get that before Thursday when the butcher is coming over.
Right. Right.
You know how we're getting those knives sharpened on Wednesday? We definitely need to get the life insurance taken care of before that.
Yeah.
That's pretty dark. Hey.
All right, my turn?
Yeah, your turn.
All right, so this is should I do a holiday themed one?
Oh, wait. I forgot one addendum
Yes.
to the chains thing.
Okay.
So my whole I always assume I have chains, right? But that also comes with the assumption that I know how to put them on if I had to.
I was going to ask you that, but then I just assumed, well, he knows all about chains.
No, so I on my old before the Prius, I had a Camry, and one time, and this is when I was first driving, and like not first driving, but like first doing the road, and I was like 22 or something, and I was coming over a pass, and I saw one of those signs flash, the roadway signs, like chains required as you're going up the mountain, and so I was at that point I was a rube, you know, I thought I literally had to like pull over and put on chains or I was going to get in trouble, you know? So
that's what I would assume.
Yeah. I think that's
not what it means.
Well, I think that's technically the letter of the law, but I think most people just see if they can get away with it, you know?
Oh, okay.
And so, I pull over and I start putting on these chains and they were used before and they weren't put back right. So like tangled up and stuff. And I struggled with it for like an hour, like my hands were like freezing and curling up and red, and I finally got so mad I grabbed them and I threw them into the side of the mountain and just drove off, and I drove the whole way totally clear. Like the pass was like easiest drive of my life. You definitely did not need chains, and so from that point on I was always like, hey, you don't even need chains, and that's probably why I don't have them. So
that is hilarious.
It just occurred to me.
I would love to be driving by right as you do that. Hey, that guy just littered. He threw his chains.
I was like, these have got to go. I was so pissed.
Oh, that's hilarious.
All right.
All right, do you want a holiday-themed one? Are we close enough?
I would love a holiday-themed one.
So, I don't know if I need backup or if I just need to find out what your tradition is. I think it's ridiculous. There's people who Santa Claus wraps their presents. I don't think that's how it works. That's not how it works. Does Santa wrap your presents growing up?
Wait. Well, yeah. So I don't know what you mean by that. You mean like some of the presents are from Santa?
The ones from Santa, I don't think I'm going to get backed up on this. The ones from Santa. So me and my family, maybe we're the outliers. You run down the stairs all excited and you see a pile of toys. Just a pile of toys, and you know which one's yours because that's what you asked for, and you just start playing with it. And then the presents that were under the tree, those are from Grandma, Auntie Chuchi, and your mom
Wait
and Dad.
Minute. I've never heard of this.
Oh, my.
So you don't. So it's like it is like kind of like a Norman Rockwell painting though, but you just have like a little bow on the big rocking horse and.
Yes, there's no bow.
There's no bow even. It's
there's no bow.
Stuff.
It's just a pile. Like, oh my gosh, he put them there.
You sound like the Sopranos. Like you just robbed a truck and you dumped it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it. And it's funny because maybe we are the outliers. I think I was talking to my sister-in-law about, like, she was talking about it, and we were all like, "What the what? Wrapping the presents from Santa? What are you talking about? That is stupid." Well, and I guess because, growing up, we never talked about, oh my gosh, hey, when you don't talk about opening the present from Santa, you just say what you got. So it never even came up. But we always it was just under the tree. Each person had their pile.
I can back you up in the sense, like, I feel like when you see Santa Claus depicted on the cartoons or, movies, he doesn't have, I'm trying to think of like the gifts he has in his sleigh. They aren't wrapped, right?
No, I was going to say the opposite. Like, they always are wrapped. What are they going to show a Nintendo on a,
No, but they show like, they're always like old fashioned gifts nobody wants.
Football, a rocking horse,
a rocking horse. Everybody gets a rocking horse. You're like, yeah, an elf made this. I'd rather have the Chinese kid who makes the Nikes, but thanks.
Thanks, elf.
Thanks, elf.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a wooden marching band guy. Oh, great. Best Christmas ever. Thanks, Santa. They didn't have a Wii.
Yeah, all those toys from those old movies. Jesus Christ.
I know. How do they even have
Why do those kids even get excited for Christmas?
Hey, another figurine. Here's a dolly.
And his joints don't bend.
Here's a dolly that looks like it's haunted.
A dolly.
Okay, so you're saying those. I'm trying to think of like the Grinch.
So
or,
you
like,
go.
these
So
movies
you
I've
would go
seen.
downstairs, and it would be
Everything's
big
wrapped.
present. Everything's wrapped.
I'll save the time. Now there's a stocking,
Mm-hmm.
and there's stuff. The stuff in the stocking obviously is not wrapped. That's just in there.
Yeah.
But no, everything's wrapped. And then there were some presents like from my dad or from my mom or from mom and dad or from grandma, and then some presents said from Santa Claus.
Right. Now tell me, is there a discrepancy in wrapping paper, or is it the same wrapping paper?
Oh no, I don't think my parents were that clever.
So
Maybe
Santa
they were.
wrapped 'em
If they're
with
if they're listening, and they did take the time to I will get out in front and I apologize, but I'm like 85% sure they did not take the time to switch up the paper, or they would even, some with they would probably run out of paper at some point. But I don't think it was like a conscious choice
Huh.
to go. We better to suspend disbelief. We better, because. So is that why your parents or your family?
I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's just that's how I never had to think about it. It's just how it always was.
It sounds like a convenient way to tell the tale. It's like less work.
Yeah, it's
less
yeah,
wrapping
exactly.
to do.
It's way less work, less
So
material.
you do that for your kids now. You don't wrap Santa's gifts.
Correct.
But what did Aaron say?
What?
Well, when you started when you had kids, right? Her
Yeah.
family must have wrapped the gifts from Santa.
No, that's it. Yeah, they didn't either.
This is some weird Midwestern thing.
Maybe it is a regional thing because she didn't. But my sister-in-law that did was she grew up. I think she grew up in New York. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Midwestern thing for sure. You guys are so crazy.
That must be it.
But I mean, I can see it. I'm trying to back you up. You were like refuting me on not backing yourself up. But like I'm telling you, I've seen Santa, not literally, but in the movies and stuff, and I can see him not having wrapped gifts and putting things down the chimney and just laying like a hockey stick or whatever under the tree. It's always wooden, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's never like the new iPhone or anything. It's always like,
some brandless, easily homemade.
Brandless. That's right. Just a generic toy.
Yeah.
You know what's big? You know what's big with elves and Santa? The monkey with symbols for hands. That's what I think every boy and girl in the world wants.
That and blocks.
You're in luck. You were a good boy this year. Here's a block.
Yay!
Is it a Lego? No. That's a brand. A company makes that.
Right.
Our elves made these blocks.
Yeah.
So, no, we don't. I'm trying to think of if we have any weird Christmas traditions. We've talked about.
Do you open any on New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve? You mean Christmas
Or
Eve?
Christmas Eve.
God, you guys are weird.
Christmas Eve.
Then on Labor Day,
we open our last present. Our
Santa's
last
dog
Christmas.
comes in, and we all say the loyalty pledge. What? No, we've talked. I think we've talked about this before, but Christmas Eve we used to open presents from like my relatives.
Okay, yeah.
My aunt and uncle and my grandparents, and then on Christmas morning we do like the Santa, and then like from my parents and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think we still do an element of that to this day, although it's been a while since we had everybody together. But I think that's still kind of the way it goes. And then like that was the big thing, is then my grandparents would come back over on Christmas Day and they would see all the stuff we got from Santa. That was a big thing. Like they gave a shit, but we would present it to them as kids. Like, see, Grandpa,
check out these blocks, Grandma.
Yeah, he fought in the war, and it's like, hey, look at this transformer. It's like, I don't get a kick out of that. But yeah, so that's not weird though. I mean, everybody kind of does that.
Yeah.
You guys do.
We would get to open one the night before.
See, I don't love it. If I could do it, I would just force them to wait do the whole thing on Christmas morning. Like, I don't think I'm gonna let, like, if I have say, I would rather Ginger just like
Nothing on New Year's
nothing.
Eve or nothing Christmas Eve.
Really want to open something on New Year's Eve.
Nothing on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. I don't know, because I think it's like the gratification, and then you have the big pile, Christmas morning. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so it's missing a pair of socks that you opened the night before.
Well, is that how it worked? Like when you picked one,
it was like it wasn't a Santa gift. It was just a mom-dad wrapped one from under the tree that's been there.
And would you try as a kid? Do you remember trying to pick out something that you knew you wanted? Like, was there some strategy to it, or you just grabbed whatever?
Yeah, I'd grab whatever. I mean, yeah, the biggest one, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You're up.
I'm up.
I feel you were supported. You were supportive.
I was trying to be. Yeah.
I know.
Because I can see the logic in it, and it makes your life easier.
And I'm gonna ask others.
Wrapping presents sucks.
Yeah.
I had to wrap stuff for Ginger's birthday, which is so like, and then I had to like unwrap it for her. Like this was a big.
Before you do your next one, when do you think, like, when did you find out?
I remember when I found out. My brother told me, that Santa wasn't real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might have children listeners.
Sorry. When did I find out that Santa's elves made shitty gifts?
Right.
My brother, I can't remember how old I was, but it's pretty young, probably like 4 or 5.
Oh, how much older than you is he?
He's 2 years older.
Oh,
so maybe I was older than that. Maybe it was like 6 or something.
See, that makes me worried. That makes me worried that when Edie finds out.
Oh, she's going to tell immediately.
I don't know. See, we have this plan that have worked for our cousins or my nieces and nephews, where it's like, okay, now you're in on the secret, so you get to help mom and dad.
That's smart.
So it's like, okay, it's us and Duncan. They don't know what's going on. You get to help us. So then they kind of feel special, like, ooh.
No, that's smart, and that'll probably work. I just, again, my parents probably didn't think of that, or my brother knew and they didn't know that he knew, kind of thing. But the way he showed it, because I didn't believe him. I remember this very vivid memory of him going, "Oh yeah," and then he showed me where all the presents were hidden. So he found like under the bed and in the shower that nobody used downstairs or whatever. And
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
we're not being sneaky at all. I always because my parents weren't very sneaky, so I like knew where stuff was hidden, and I was always like, when I get older, I'm not gonna be an idiot. But like, it's not about being an idiot; it's just being lazy. All of our shit is in our closet that the kids have been in with their presents, and I gotta just be like, get them out so they don't notice.
Well, but it's like easier in the age. I mean, maybe you bought some of it in person, but I feel like it's easier in the age of like Amazon and stuff. I would see, if it were me, I would order the gifts on Amazon and just leave it in the Amazon boxes, and then just go, oh yeah, that's this week's food supply or whatever in the garage.
Yeah, we do have that done. That with some, but we buy things all sporadically, so we have to take inventory. We have to open, see what's there.
Right.
So now we're kind of hiding it inside luggage in the closet.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, who's gonna open?
You
luggage?
aren't lazy. Look at you.
Yeah.
You're still doing the elf on the shelf? I know you talked about that, but no.
I mean, it's fine. It's fine, whatever. But like, Erin's like bitter because her mom gave us one. I think, I told you about it. Like, it was like a used one. It doesn't have any like hands or feet or anything. It's just like an old, dirty, used one.
Oh my God.
But she gave it to the kids.
They gave you a Vietnam War veteran elf on the shelf.
Yeah. Why does our elf on the shelf have dog hair stuck all over it?
It's having flashbacks.
So we have it.
Oh, you do. Okay.
We have to constantly make up excuses as to why he didn't move because we forget. That's a pain.
Well, he has no hands or feet. I don't think we need it.
He's supposed to go to the North Pole.
What do you want
night.
from this guy? Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
He's got no hands or feet. So he wants to
lucky
take
he's
an
here at all.
extra day on the mantle. Fine.
Yeah, one of these days they're going to run down. He's going to just be hanging. Something's wrong with Sprinkles.
Couldn't take it anymore. Okay. This is my second topic that I need to back up on. Okay. So, like, do you ever leave voicemails anymore? Do you ever, like, leave a voicemail? Or do you just call?
Yes,
and
it depends on who. It depends on who. There's two
now,
people.
you like to leave. I know you because you're like a prankster. You're a comedian.
You're a class clown. You're a funny guy.
And you're like my friend Ryan. You know, you leave a voicemail and it's like you're trying to be funny, probably.
Yeah.
Usually, when you leave a voicemail, it's like
yes.
you're doing it because you're making a joke or trying to be funny or
yes.
the person. Yeah. That's fine. That's a different category. Let's put that aside.
Okay, so excluding that.
Then I am also not anti-voicemail if you're leaving pertinent information, right? So it's like, hey, I found out about your test results. You're negative. Have a great day. Or, hey, looks like the 14th won't work out, so don't worry about it. We'll try another time, right? That's also an acceptable voicemail. Better in a text. Just
is the negative test result from your doctor after you had a pregnancy test? After you're trying to get pregnant?
Oh. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if the doctor.
Your test was negative. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Relax.
Yeah.
So I'm not like anti-voicemail in any way, but then this is the one. And again, I don't want to pick on my parents too much on this, but my dad and other people too. But this one can just go straight. This voicemail can just go straight to hell.
Okay.
Hey, it's me. Call me back. That's it. That's the voicemail. So you don't know, like, what did someone die? Like, now you're playing this game. Like, what happened? Why did you have? It wasn't enough for you just to call for me to see that you called, because then I'll call back.
You'll see a missed call.
Right. So then I'm thinking like, oh, something's important, or it's like, oh, it must have been something that was too complicated to explain in a voicemail, so I need to call them back. But it never is. It's always something that would have just been a text, or you could have told me what it was in the voicemail, and I still could have called back to have a conversation. But, like, just don't leave voicemails. That's what I need backup on. Don't leave voicemails that just say, call me back.
Yes, I can totally agree. And see, that one, like with that one with your dad, you probably know by now, well, he does that, so I'm not worried because he leaves them, right. Yeah, but like my buddy Ben, like he doesn't, his voicemail's always full. His mailbox, he doesn't listen to voicemails or leave them because he knows, well, I called. You know, if he has something to say, he'll text it. That's the thing. Like now, even if you have pertinent information, if they don't answer, it goes to voicemail, you just hang up and you text them. Right. Because then you have a digital paper trail of, well, I know I told you we moved it to 6. You know, there it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
so
I know.
Totally.
My wife and my brother-in-law, you know, they're brother and sister, but they have the same thing where, like, you call and they go, this person's voicemail box is full. And I feel it's such a chaotic, you know what I mean? It's like you clear your voicemail box out, first of all. It's sending a message to the world that your life is crazy. Yeah, that's why I try to tell my wife. It's like, people are going to think you're like a heroin addict or something. Like, clean your voicemails out.
They're going to think you have a messy house that you just don't have time to get things organized.
Or just like people have been frantically calling you and leaving messages, trying to get a hold of you and you don't ever answer. So I'm with you on, like, yes, I would like to be able to leave. Everyone should have a voicemail space, but texting works too. But I just like, don't leave the element of suspense in the air. Yeah. Just tell me what it's about in the voice.
Because then it's putting time on you. Because like, oh, my dad called. Oh, there's a voicemail. I got to listen to it. Hey, I called.
That's right. Yeah. It is like it's like like we were talking about Christmas, but like, do you ever give someone one of those gifts and then they're like opening a box and then there's another box inside and then there's like a little wrapped,
Yeah.
Tupperware thing and then you got to go to the closet and it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a scavenger hunt to just find out that yes, we can come to dinner.
Yeah.
Oh,
this you just made me think of something. So I got booked on a Gig Masters virtual gig, like a private, corporate gig. Pays way better than the
I bet
the other ones. Anyway, so she kept sending me messages before she confirmed it. She's like, "Hey, just want to know what's your show consist of?" I was like, "Is it just stand up or what?" Because I'm just, and I was like, "Yeah, I mean, it's stand up. I'll interact with, it depends on the energy, blah blah blah." And then she was like, "Okay, well, I want to book you. I'm gonna know what your show." And so I just sent her my dry bar special that's on YouTube,
Right.
And she was like, "Okay, great. Yeah, I just booked you." So she booked me. I got the confirmation thing, and then she sends a message that's like, "Hey, we want you to do like a scavenger hunt too, like scavenger hunt and some games just to kind of mix it up." And I'm like, "Okay, all right. I guess I'll do that. That's less material I'll be doing."
But wait, what does that mean? Like a scavenger hunt?
That's like where like you yeah, over Zoom, where I'll be like, "All right, guys, here we go. You have to find something you would eat soup with." And then, they run through their house and they find a spoon and they come back. "Okay, go find a toy that doesn't,
This is the power of saying yes. Because like when you first said that, when she's like, "Actually, we want you to do a scavenger hunt," my instinct would be like, "Well, go find another fucking comedian. I don't do scavenger hunts and I don't do." But then what you just said right there, I was like, "Oh, that's so easy. That's way better."
And I only know it's like normally I'd be like, "What is this horse shit? I don't have, I mean, I do have time for this bullshit, so I'll do it." But also, I've done one of these birthday parties for like a kid where they do that, so I know how easy it is. Where it's like, you just
go find a spoon.
Yeah, someone go get a spoon.
Hey,
you win.
You should go Johnny style and make it really meta. It's like, "Okay, someone find a computer."
Show me the computer. I can't.
Someone show me a power cord. Wow, that was quick. Good job, guys.
I'm just gonna make them be like, "Can you just do jokes?"
Can someone?
Sure, do what I was hired to do. You bet. You want me to do these kid game bullshit? Okay.
Can someone find a comedian mailing it in? Point on your screen. One time, I got booked for a this was before the pandemic. I got booked for a college show, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna do bingo." I was like, "Great." Before or after? Just tell me when to show up. Like, no, we want you to host the bingo. I was like, "Well, I'm really only contracted for 50 minutes, and so that's gonna eat into this." I'm thinking the same thing you're thinking. Like, okay, less time.
Right.
They're like, "No, we don't really want you to do a show. We just
we need a bingo host.
We want a bingo host." So I was like, "Well, do you want me to do like 10 up front to like introduce it?" They're like, "No,
we watched your clips. That's okay."
And this is not it's a college gig. It's not an insignificant amount of money that you put me up in a hotel and you brought me out here and paid me this money. And all you want me to do is to pick up these balls and say the number on the ball. And they're like, "Yeah."
God. And you did it?
And I did it. And it was I tried to be kind of funny, but like, how funny can you really be?
Every time you do a joke, the guy that hired you is like,
"Yeah, no.
Just read the number. Read the
bingo
ball."
was good. Getting the B29, that was great. All the little comments in between, we don't need that.
No, that's not what we hired you for.
But I was like, just imagine, what if you could market yourself just as a bingo host, Because
that's
there's
probably
like
a category
hosts.
on Gig Masters.
Yeah. People like have to, because people are so scared of public speaking. Maybe that's it. Like they're like, "Hey, let's just bring someone. I don't want to get up there and read the number on the ball."
Yeah. That's hilarious.
God, that was and you're torn because you're right. It's like it was easy, but then it's also sort of depressing.
Yeah.
But then it's like, who cares?
Yeah. Who cares? It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
It's all about the bee. 29s.
All about the bees.
Should you go? Do we have time to? I'm just looking at the clock. We got.
What do you think?
A couple of minutes. You want to do a really quick one?
Sure, I'll do a quick one. All right,
Okay.
Here we go. All right. So documentary, the docu-series. Now, I'm a firm, this is going to sound like, I'm just trying to make a joke. I am a firm, adamant believer in this. Every single multi-episodic documentary series that is out there could be crunched and condensed into a 90-minute or 2-hour documentary movie.
Yeah.
There's no need for a cliffhanger on a documentary series. And all of the ones that are, multiple episodes have so much fat, so much repetition, so much shit that can be cut. It's just.
I feel like this started with Serial. Remember the podcast about Adnan or whatever?
I didn't listen, but that was a podcast. But
that was like
right?
the first. Yeah, it was a podcast, but it was like Serial. Like that was the name of it, and then they did other topics under that name Serial, and the whole idea was like it's a serial podcast in that there was like 1, 2, 3,
but it's different
4, 5,
cases.
6. No, they were. It was that Adnan thing was the same season of episode. It would be one episode. There was like 7 or 8 episodes.
Okay.
About that one case, and it was all leading up to this big thing, and then of course it was a nothing because like he was still, in jail or whatever. But I agree. I totally agree with you. Are you talking? Are you watching the Beatles thing? Is that what you're watching?
No.
There's a Beatles documentary on Disney
called
Plus.
Get Back.
Yeah,
we probably will watch it because my wife loves the Beatles. Is it good?
I haven't watched it, but I thought that's what you were.
Oh no.
About.
No, most of the ones I'm talking about are the murder ones.
Yeah,
I mean Tiger King, whatever that could be, too. But like the staircase, I know we talked about that. That was the one Jason Russell made me watch. He's like, dude, we got to talk. You got to watch this thing. And I hate watching documentary bullshit. And this was 13 episodes, over an hour each, about some idiot that killed his wife. And I just was like, are you? That is a half a day of my life.
No, they're like reaching when they're like they go back and look at their life as like a kid or something.
Yeah.
And what you have to understand is
exactly. No, I don't.
You never got to go to Disneyland, and that's why,
And they show some dramatization of a kid at Disneyland.
Right. Yeah, everyone's just trying to fill them. Look at us.
Yeah, just
doing this podcast.
This is quality, though. This is quality. There's no fat. There is no fat in all 84 hours plus Patreon.
Post-show banter. Not an
we are overflowing. Yeah.
Everyone's got to fill it up, man. Because it's like that. I think it used to be. Because why would something be 90 minutes? You think about that. Like, who decided that a movie should be like about 2 hours or whatever? No one, there's no rule. They just like, that's what it's been. And that's what we got like conditioned to.
Right.
Probably because some guy figured it out who ran a movie theater. Like, well, this is how much time to like, show a
Before
movie.
they get
They
antsy.
can eat popcorn or whatever, have a drink. And then I got to flip it and I got to show this many a day. So it can only be this long or whatever. Right. Yeah. And so now that no one cares about movie theater, so it's like we need things to be like at least 7 or 8 episodes, like an hour long, because that's what we expect now. So it's like, so we just have to fill that, It's like stand-up shows. Why are stand-up shows an hour and a half?
Because that's exactly what, because that's the point where people start getting bored and their mind wanders and they can't take it anymore.
Or I think it's just the time that it takes to get people like 2 drinks.
Yeah.
And some food. And then it's like, let's turn it over. Then you can have at least 2 shows in a night, I don't know if it was no one ever did like the scientific. It's probably because 90 minutes is probably hot nowadays. It's probably like on the high side for attention. It's probably more like 60 minutes is what people are really going to tune into.
Yeah.
When you take current attention spans. But
Yeah.
I know when I'm booking show, I'm like, tighten it up. That's Robert Buscemi, our friend. He's a comedian, and he's always saying that. He's like, no one's ever complained about a show being too short.
That's true.
No one's ever said that.
That is true.
So anyway,
Yeah.
but
Didn't you have a topic a while ago about leaving reviews and not? I don't know what. I just saw this because I did a Gigmasters gig and I got the feedback today. He left me all 5s except, I don't know, like referable. Like, would you refer or whatever? That's one of the 5 or 6 categories, and he put 4.5, like professional, quality, friendly, met requirements, and then referability. Everything was 5, and then 4.5.
Yeah.
What? Well, just give me a 5. Why would you do that?
It's insane. And I had a woman do that to me. I think I was talking about that on the podcast. Same thing. All 5s except for, and then like in the overall, she did like 4 out of 5 or something. And then it was like, well, and I think it's because, and like my wife, our neighbor, one time she needed some sort of referral. It was for her. She was doing this nanny site application. So similar to what Gigmasters is for us, it was for nannies. So she just needed references. So she had her friend, our neighbor, Tara, do it for her. And she went through, but then she put one of them 4 out of 5. And her reasoning was, well, I didn't want it to seem unrealistic. And it's like, who gives a they're not factoring that in. It's a cold-hearted algorithm, number game. It's not like, no one's going to like get in an Uber and go, oh, I don't know, this one has 5 stars. That's a little fishy to me.
Yeah, I think he probably drove himself around for a long time and then reviewed himself. That's too good. That's too good.
Let's get the one with less stars. Like, it's just so stupid. I don't know what's wrong with people.
No.
That's a good lesson for those listening, because maybe people think that. Maybe they're like, when you're leaving a review for a restaurant you're like, well, I don't want to be like a sycophant, or I don't want to be like unrealistic. Just leave the 5. Unless you hated the place, leave the 5 stars.
That's right. Or so let's say you're reviewing your favorite podcast. Leave 5 stars. Otherwise, they're not going to bring up your topic.
Exactly.
We only do 5-star reviews.
And sometimes we forget to check.
But we will get to them always.
Yes. We've never not gotten to one.
That is right.
All right, buddy. That's it. Speaking of reviews, that's a great segue.
Yes.
What you all should do, if you're listening to this and enjoying this, leave a 5-star review and what you need backup on in your life, and we'll talk about it on the show. We're going straight from this into post-show banner. So if you want to hear that, like we said, no fat on this thing.
No fat, baby. Like we told you, our podcast is good.
You got to... Good title for this episode. File that away. Got to join the Patreon though to listen to the post show banner. So check that out. And yeah, buddy, that's it.
Yeah, buddy. All right.
Thanks everybody for listening to
the Cavalry.